right, to keep it blunt, there was a few different men that my mom was with, you know. But overall, they all had their issues, and I mean they were cool, you know. But I wasn't their son, and mom didn't really you know, she respected that. You know, I had my dad, even though he wasn't around. You know, my dad was my dad. We had a good relationship. I would see him every now and then. But I had a few altercations with them, you know, and it probably affected me as I grew up. But overall, mom took care of me, you know. I mean, nobody wants to be alone, you know. Now that I've grown up and I understand that, you know. So mom didn't want to be alone. So but I'm her son. So if they took her, they took me, you know. And just sometimes we didn't see eye to eye. But I mean, mama had my back, you know. She never really cut me loose. But I know, growing up, you know, there was a few feelings, you know, that affected me, you know, with the relationships that I had with her men, you know, and in a negative way, you could say.
Yes, I at the time, I did not know that. If I even had any indication, I would never. It would have just been Richard and me. But I wanted a father for Richard. And the funny part is that he had a father. And we separate. I was just young, 21 years old. Didn't know anything about the world. Didn't know anything. I mean, I was, even with I was always with my parents, myself, my father, you know, always holding us and covering us and protecting us. And so here I grew, and then I grew up in a violent environment. So here I have this child, you know, that I thought that the thing to do is to, if I don't have his father, so let's have a father. Let's find someone in my son's life. And unfortunately, that's why I had different people in my life, because nobody was good enough. Nobody was good enough. And the sad part is that I was enough, and I didn't know that. As we're speaking, I recall we were once up in, I think Richard was 14 years old, and he told me, I had a discussion with this man in my life who happened, he actually died, and he said to me, he turned, because he was scared, Richard was scared, and I was scared at that moment. I didn't want to show my son, but there was a part of me that was afraid because I thought he was going to come back, so I ended up calling the police. And my son turns to me and says, "Mom, you don't need anybody, Mom. You know, you have me. You have me. And I know, mijo, I know, mijo." But as much as I said, I know, mijo, I didn't take that to heart. What is a 12, 13-year-old going to tell me? What does that mean? That was, he meant it. And he didn't talk about it again. There's Richard is a young man that held a lot in. And I did not know that my selfishness, and I say it now like that because when you really think about it, I was more out to try to have a father for my son, but in order to have a father for your son, you have to have that man in your life. So it really, you know, who was I trying to fool? I actually believed it in my mind that I was trying to find a father, and it was at one point in one of the people in my life. And it's sad to say, as I speak now, I hear myself, and it disgusts me. It disgusts me where I was at that time in my life. And I thank the Lord that Richard has forgiven me for that. There's a part of me that hasn't forgiven myself. As I talk about it right now, it makes me angry that I put him through that. He didn't deserve that. And my whole thing when the moment my son came out of me was to protect him. And mind you, I still protect him from it, because any of the guys in my life would actually say, well, he's a mama's boy, and what? You know, I mean, I was like ready to, on an attack. My son would stand by me because no one's going to be touching that boy, you know. But I I hurt him emotionally. Maybe not physically, but I hurt him emotionally. And I hate myself for that.